Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today I'm going to go over an article titled, Why Do Dating Apps Bring Out the Worst in Men? Apps like Tinder and Hinge give straight men unfettered access to women and a new sense of boldness through a seemingly endless set of options. And guys, this article, which is only a few days old, and by the way, a big shout out to Ash for sending me this story, as well as what I'm going to do next. This is pretty much an article written by a woman who's going to rant and rave about how unfair it is that guys now, because of dating apps, have the ability to basically not only mislead women, but take advantage of them in the sense that they could use different dating apps to date multiple women at the same time, date them for a while, have their fun, and then, God forbid, ghost them. Like, this is a whole new concept that's never happened in the history of dating before. Now, I agree that doing such things and misleading people on purpose and hurting them ain't cool. But here's the deal. The last time I checked, call me crazy, but it seems rather common that gals do that to guys as well. I don't think there's one guy watching this video right now that either has it happen to themselves once, twice, many times, or guys they know where they have been out with a woman who was showing them all this interest and was more than happy to let them spend all this money on her, take her out sometimes multiple times, she showed interest and all that, and then just completely disappear on them like that. And the guy even found out that she was dating other dudes. Imagine that. But when guys do this, all of a sudden we're the biggest scumbags and players and the biggest lowlives in the world. But when the gals do it, oh, well, hey, no big deal. And this was all brought about, apparently, this article came from this TikTok nonsense about some dude that came about, they're calling him West Elm Caleb. That's the name of it, where I guess this guy was, God forbid, using dating apps to date multiple women at the same time, and obviously having his fun with them, and then just ghosting them. And this outrage, and I'm joking around here, I'm exaggerating, the outrage on TikTok and other social media, because, that's just what you have to do nowadays, be outraged on social media like TikTok from women and all that, about that type of thing, when, get the hell out of here. This happens all the time, and women do it just as much to guys. But, of course, if it's a guy doing it, then it's got to become this whole thing that people talk about and write articles about. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to go through this thing here, guys, and again, I got to point this out. Again, like I said, the gals do it too. Does that make it any better? No. And also, I want to point out that, when it comes to, in this article, it's going to make it out to be that pretty much all guys on dating apps now either can do this, will do this, or are doing this. Well, that's ridiculous, because we all know darn well that most guys on the dating apps, the gals only go for a small percentage of the guys on there. For most guys, dating apps is not the best deal for them, unless they really are exceptional in terms of like all the sixes, six-figure income, six-pack, 6 feet tall, blah, 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 and all those types of things. Those types have the ability to date multiple women and all that, but they're making it out to be that all guys do this or will do this, and they want to obviously blame the dating apps for this, when just simply, look, there are some people out there that just do, uncool things. It is what it is, but to make it out that all guys do this and act like that the gals don't do this, you got to be kidding me. And so again, also the women, way more percentage of the gals do this to guys versus the percentage of guys do this to the gals. So anyhow, I like to pick apart and call out BS when it's there. So I'm going to go through this article as well as some woman that got misrepresented herself, and she went off on TikTok about how the guy treated her. You'll find that funny. So this starts off. It says, if you manage to live your life so that you're somehow avoided the West Elm Caleb saga that's unfolded over the last week, then you're probably a happier, less perplexed person because of it. And if you're a straight single woman who uses dating apps and have never dated a young man who resembles West Elm Caleb, then that's nothing less than a miracle. In brief, West Elm Caleb is a guy, 25, who got outed on TikTok for allegedly dating multiple women he met on dating apps all at the same time, leading them on and then ghosting them. This sounds like pretty much any above average good-looking gal in her 20s. On multiple dating apps, talking to multiple guys, dating multiple guys, and when she's bored, been out with them a few times, then ghost them. But I don't see any outrages on TikTok about from guys about that. I don't see that being broadcast in articles, but God forbid one dude does that, and obviously a small percentage of guys do this, then, oh, well, it's a national outrage. What a load of crap. It says here, back in my day, we just called them an F-boy, said my friend Amelia, 29. Yes, I know. Back in 2015, I wrote a story for Vanity Fair entitled Tinder and the Dawn of the Dating Apocalypse, in which I reported an F-boy as a young man who sleeps with women without any intention of having a relationship with them or perhaps even walking them to the door post-sex. God forbid. Yes, there are dudes that do that, and if he's leading her on and hurting her, that's not cool. But again, how many gals will happily go out on dates with guys, make the guy feel like they like them, and be more than happy to have the guy let on, take her out to dinners and events and all that, and talk to him about all of her problems, and act like she likes him, even though she has no interest in him. It's better than doing nothing, and then just whoosh, ghost him like that. How about that? Again, I'm not seeing articles here or national things on TikTok or whatever, and people knowing about that. That story caused an infamously crazy reaction on the part of Tinder, which tweeted at me more than 30 times in one night. So offended were they that I talked to actual users about their dissatisfaction with the newly launched, now multi-billion-dollar app. Tinder was mad because, among other things, I dared to suggest that dating apps including Bumble and Hinge, where West Elm Caleb met his matches, were exacerbating bad behavior on the part of straight men. Which is what is missing in the many think pieces that have come out about West Elm Caleb. The problem is the design of the technology itself. Newsflash, people, and the lady who wrote this, and anybody else that would buy into this stuff, it doesn't make a difference what technology you have, what features you had to maybe block certain things, whatever. People are going to act shitty. It goes both ways. No, dating apps didn't invent misogyny or womanizers, but they did give straight men, unvetted men, unfettered access to women. They gave them a new sense of boldness through a seemingly endless set of options. They gave them the ability to decide with the flick of a finger whether a woman was hot or not, enough for them to date or have you-know-what with. They gave them the ability to create false identities and can't be held accountable. Yeah, let's talk about the whole accountable thing. Guys got to be held accountable, but we know someone else who doesn't have to be accountable. Get out of here. Boldness, endless set of options. Believe me, your average Joe does not have endless set of options. Your average Joe on dating apps isn't going to have an endless supply of gals that he can just snap of a finger get. It doesn't work that way. Only a small percentage of guys can actually attract enough women to the dating apps and be able to do the things that she talks about and makes it out to be that all dudes either do, will do, or have done in the past. It's nonsense. Most guys are not like that. The effect in all this on straight male psychology is something I've discussed with psychologists, ethicists, evolutionary biologists, and other experts throughout the making of a documentary film and the reporting of several more articles and a book. She's consulting ethicists. Yeah, I'm sure I can imagine that response. But you don't have to have a PhD to see the dating app's privilege the male gaze and give straight men an outsized idea of their power in their dealings with women. In the opinion of another young woman, they have ruined men. Oh, for goodness sake. If anything that dating apps has ruined, if anything that social media has ruined, we know what that is. Come on here. I don't have to state the obvious, but you know what I'm talking about. No, I don't think West Elm Caleb deserved to be doxxed or harassed by people who sought to take revenge on his behavior. No one deserves that. Sure, it is wrong, but I'm not surprised that some women rose up against his character, using him as a scapegoat for what they've been enduring in the realm of dating now for years. I'm just surprised it took this long. West Elm Caleb is a pandemic, says Molly, 34. He's everywhere, except there's no vaccine. Women rose up against this? Again, who are the types of guys, these gals who've been impacted by dudes like this, choose? Is it the average guy out there who's a good guy, who's not going to lead people on, who's not going to BS, who's not going to, make them think this, and this? No. It's a certain small percentage of guys that do that. To make it out like all these guys do that, get out of here. And you're going to actually blame the social media platform or the dating platform for this? At the end of the day, you get shitty people. It is what it is, okay? And again, how about some accountability? How about some acknowledgement that a paragraph saying that, and yes, gals do it too. I don't see one paragraph mentioning that. She says, without any change in the toxic dating culture being created by these apps or the men they're turning into F-boys, women have been turning to each other for solidarity online. That is the big word nowadays, solidarity. She says, what I'm seeing more and more on TikTok is women finding out they're being cheated on dating the same guy, said Lana, 28, and they're pushing back. I've seen girls post like, if your husband is named Joe with blonde hair and tattoos and it was just on a business trip in Vegas, he's cheating on you. I also saw a girl who found out her boyfriend of like 6 months was dating 2 other girls, and they all ambushed him at the same place. They all looked the same too. Ugh. Again, guys that do that, that's not cool. I don't advocate cheating or hurting anybody intentionally or misleading anybody intentionally and all that stuff, but again, to make it out like all guys do that, that's a bunch of crap. And guess what? Lots of gals do this to guys. Now they're seeing what the guys go through. Honestly, women should boycott these apps, says Brianna, 30. I don't know what benefit they bring, other than make us more accessible to trash men with bad intentions. I'm telling everyone I know to delete the apps. They're not worth it, and no one I know has met anyone worth a damn on them anyway. Not met anybody worth a damn. Again, you got plenty of guys on that do go on there that are worth a damn. It's just they're not considered to be the top percentage with the sixes and all that, and therefore not worth a damn. And those types of guys are much more conditioned possibly to, date multiple women all the time. And you know what? Also, I got to mention, I got no problem with dudes dating multiple women. But I do say it's smart. Just let them know you do that. If they ask you dating anybody else, say, yeah, I'm talking to a couple girls. I'm seeing a couple girls. Being honest, not because you need to become a saint, but simply it's going to prevent a lot of potential drama coming your way. When you've been dating her for a bit and you're having fun, she thinks you're the only guy. Then she finds out you're dating other girls, or some girl left her toothbrush at your apartment or house, or her lipstick or whatever, and then freaks out, throws a tantrum, and she can be that small percentage that's actually nuts and starts doing something really bad. It's best to just be honest about that. But, so now, for fun, let's go over a very quick article about a gal over in the UK who was sounding off on TikTok about how her date, because again, nowadays you have to sound off on TikTok when anything goes wrong and get pity from the world, how she met this dude on a date and he wasn't interested in her and let her have it because she misrepresented herself. That this is how she showed herself looking in the pictures in the dating app or whatever, or what she exchanged, and how she looked in real life. And let's just say it's not exactly flattering. I'll post the link so you can follow both these articles and you guys can judge yourselves on her appearance and how you might react. And she's looking for all this pity because, God forbid, he pretty much told her what he thought of her and how she misrepresented herself. And now that guy's being outed as being the bad guy and all that. So this one's called Dating Disaster. Says here, I was so excited for a first date. Then he accused me of misrepresenting myself in photos. He thought I'd be thinner. A woman was reduced to tears after her Bumble date fat-shamed her and said she misrepresented herself in her profile photos. Brave Cat Burleson from the UK took to TikTok and battled through tears as she explained how she just returned home after a spontaneous Bumble date. Addressing her social media followers, she told how she matched with a guy on the well-known dating app before arranging to go to a bar that Kat had been to before. But while she thought they were vibing, her date had a very different perspective. She says, it went pretty well, and at the end of the date, when you're like, are we going to go home together or whatever, he went to the bathroom, came back, and said he felt like I'd misrepresented what I look like in my Bumble pictures. I got no problem with somebody saying that. Because I got to tell you guys, if you see pictures in the dating app and all you see is their head, and it's twisted like this from a certain angle, believe me, the head could look like a certain way, but their body could be like a pear, where the top of the pear is very small, but the rest of it just balloons up, or like a bowling pin. So understand that what you see in the pictures may not be what you get in real life, okay? Also, the pictures could be old. You get there, in the picture she had blonde hair, you get there, she has short brown hair, or she looks 10 years older. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of guys that have done dating apps or blind dates or whatever you want to call it and showed up and I'm like, who the hell's this? So it's not cool if somebody misrepresents themselves. And let me tell you, if a guy misrepresented himself where, say, he looked the same, but he made it out to be that he was making 6 figures and he had a certain job making a certain thing, and then she found out that he actually later on wasn't making that kind of money, she'd be pissed. But God forbid a guy is turned off because of her misleading about her appearance, then he's the bad guy. And shallow and superficial and evil, and they got a sound off on TikTok or whatever about that. It says here, he said that he thought I was going to be a thinner in person. This is really hurtful. That's definitely happened one time before. It's really shitty. She went on to say how it was even worse that the guy used it under the guise of being honest. She says, FYI guys, talking about a woman's body is never just being honest, it's being hurtful, she warned. Well, I'm not for being cruel or being hurtful or anything like that. I'm really not. But a guy has a right, if she misrepresents how she looks about her appearance, to say something. Say, you misrepresent yourself, I don't appreciate that, and, I'm out of here. She says that many of Kat's followers were quick to take to the comments section to warn her that she's better off without him anyway. Of course they would do that. One follower said, he's not being honest. He's being intentionally cruel, and I'm so sorry he said that to you. You are beautiful, enthused one. Well, I beg to differ on that. Another second penned, well, he represented himself as a decent human and obviously lied in his profile. I'm so sorry this happened. You deserve so much better. A guy who has self-respect is not going to tolerate somebody misrepresenting themselves. And if he brings it up, he has a right to do it. And again, there's a way of doing it, and there's being cruel about it. It doesn't sound like he said, you lying, gigantic, fat-ass hippopotamus. No, he didn't say that. Another one says, dating apps have made it okay for people to treat other people like a product rather than a person. They need to be canceled, period. Of course someone's going to pull out the canceled thing. It says, meanwhile, a third commented, you dodged a bullet. Keep looking for the good one. While further added, girl, those better be tears of anger. That boy was not man enough for you, and he wasted your time. And now, someone like that who's, in my opinion, challenged, definitely a bit challenged when it comes to looks and all that, is going to think, I am perfect. I'm beautiful the way I am, and keep, well, you'll see in the pictures. You'll see what I'm talking about. And not doing anything about to fix themselves and all that. But at the end of the day, it's not cool to misrepresent yourself. Be honest in your pictures and all that. And it goes both ways, both men and women. But you see here, sounding off on TikTok and this outrage. But, if a guy did a video on TikTok and was saying how certain things, that she didn't like me because I didn't make enough money or something like that, then there'd be no articles like this. They'd be like, tough shit, dude. But anyhow, guys, the double standard, the hypocrisy is just beyond me. Again, back to the original article. I mean, gals do the same exact thing, but I don't see any articles about giving them a hard time about this. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. I figured you guys would find this pretty entertaining. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, if you have a really good article that you'd like me to send me, and you'd like me to do on this channel, be sure to email me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. This also includes really good personal stories you got. Just give me time to get to it because I got a lot I go through all the time. And also be sure to check me out on Instagram or local, Strong Successful Male. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.